It's your boy Jonas. About to do it again on you. I hope you understand. It's all about my Christ. We're gonna do it like this. Yeah, oh. You everything to me. You never took your hands off of me. I was down in misery. You kept me so close to thee. I gotta give you praise, cause you're the only one who can save. Yeah, you took me out of my grave, and now I'm serving you here today. Let's go. You found me and saved me and kept me, Lord. I'm walking and talking, and now I'm blessing and working and serving and praising you, Lord. Yo, what up, everybody? What up? This is your boy Jonas. Listen, I'm working in the studio by myself. My producer is on somewhere at Kings Island, but we're going to talk to her when she get back. So I got to do it by myself. But listen, I have a special guest for you. I'm telling you, get ready for an amazing story. I pray that her story blesses you. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and I'm excited. Very, 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 very excited. And so I thank God for what's about to happen and what you're about to hear. Amen. So get ready.
Amen. Yes.
I'm your host, Pastor Terry Jonas, for those who don't know, and still for those who do know. Amen. And we have here the wonderful, beautiful woman of God, NEICY SQUIRE. In the building.
Hello. What's up, y'all?
In the building.
Yes.
Look, full of energy here.
Yes.
Full of energy. And
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's about to go down.
That's what's
It's
up.
about to go down.
Yes, it is.
So I'm excited. So.
Hello, Pastor Jonas. What's going on?
Look. Hey, we here. We here. We finally got here. So,
Okay.
So hold on. Let me check something real quick, cause I know.
Okay.
I know. Okay, I had to make sure that things were working right here, cause I gotta do it by myself,
Okay.
But anyway,
You making it work.
We're making it work, right? We're making it work. So
improvise.
So NEICY SQUIRE.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about you. Tell us what got you to where you are now. Tell us your story. What we want to hear your story.
You really want to hear my story?
Your story.
Really?
I think the audience wants to hear your story. So tell us about how life. I always say how your misery became your victory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
You said something right there. Misery became your victory.
How your misery became your victory. So the audience wants to know and share with them. So
Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? So I think it's something significant about, telling your story, because a lot of people may be afraid to really speak their truth.
Mm-hmm.
But it's powerful when you stand up and you know what you've been through and you're not afraid to be confident enough to share that, because you never know what someone else may be going through. You never know, the depression or even the suicidal thoughts that they may be facing, or the thinking that they can never get back up again from a loss or from a devastation or from a traumatic experience. So I think it's so important that you have this platform and that people, are bold enough and not even worrying about what other people may think, because your story may not be for everybody.
right.
Everybody not going to hear you. But the ones that are meant for you, you need to be able to stand up and share that. So a little bit about my story is that I'm 57 years old. 57, months shy from 50, about a month. Months shy from 57. Have 5 grown children, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Have 9 grandchildren. And I am blessed. I am blessed and highly favored. But my journey started, Pastor, was when probably when I was like in my 20s, and I ended up marrying this young man. Young man was in the church, and I just knew that he was a man of God. You know, he quotes scriptures. He was on the deacon board. We were both in the choir. We just, you know, we really clicked.
Right.
We really clicked.
Right.
And
Right.
so he was basically my high school sweetheart. And then we
Right.
ended up getting married. We got married, didn't realize he never showed me that he had a temper. You know, some people can have a temper and be able to hide it.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a temper, and I didn't realize this till after the fact. And so I remember one day, one of the incidents, because there was a few of them, but I remember one of the incidents was we were getting ready to actually go to church. And he was still in the house, and I had gotten into the car. And he ended up, at that time, because this was like 30
Right,
years ago.
right.
So he ended up locking the house door, and his keys were inside. And so in order for him to be able to get his keys for us to go to church, somebody had to get into the house. And so he came out, and he was angry and upset and frustrated at this point, and he said, "You're gonna have to climb through the back, window in the kitchen window and get my keys." And I was feeling like, I'm not gonna get up on, because it was a step up to get up into the kitchen window. And so I said, I can't do that. And before I knew it, I was being yanked from the car. Had no idea this was coming. Yanked from the car, threw up against the car door, and being choked at this point in my life.
Wow.
Didn't realize, this was a domestic violence, because I had no idea what domestic violence was.
Right.
And so anyway, long story short, I went through that. I was told to pray about it. At that point in my life, I was part of a Pentecostal church, didn't believe in divorce, believed in, like, you should pray about it, and God is going to bless you. God is going to work everything out. Right. So at that point, I tried to stay. After I went to my elders and people that I thought had wisdom, I tried to stay and work it out with this abusive man. But it came down to the point, Pastor, that I was almost killed. And so I went through that, and something ended up, I guess, entering into my mind that I can't keep on going through this. I've had 5 children. I've been beaten. I've been dragged, and I can't keep on doing this. So I began to go to some support groups. I began to read up on, like, domestic violence. I think it was... The battered women's shelter ends up putting those little notes up on different, I believe, bathroom stalls or different areas. And I believe I end up getting the number, and I end up calling the number for the battered women's shelter. And at that point, I made a plan to get out. But it wasn't easy, because when I tried to leave, it got worse, where he really tried to kill me. And so... That was a long journey of me not understanding why did this happen? How did my life go through this?
Well, let me ask you this: what was it like? And it's sad that women now go through this, but for those who are in relationship now, what was it like to experience? What was the emotion for you to go through that? Where was your mind at to be shocked that the man that you married tricked you into believing that he's the one, but he's the scary one, right?
Like sleeping with the enemy.
You're sleeping with the enemy.
Yes.
What was that? What was that mind? What did that do to you to just be like, dang, what, So help the people out. Like, how did your mind just go, wait a minute,
I think I was in shock, because I was like, I've never known him to act like that. He was just this kind-hearted, we would talk about the Bible. You know, we really connected. So there was no way I would have thought that he could turn from what, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or whatever. Right. And so it was just like a flow of emotions of just like this is crazy. But like I said, I kept on trying to work it out. I kept on trying, like, pray about it, you know, because that's what I was told. But at the end of the day, I started getting my own sense. And I said, I got to get out of here. I was hear from other women that had went through it. This one lady said she had stayed married to her husband for like 30 years. And every bone, I believe she said, in her body had been broken. And the only way it stopped, I guess, for her life, in her life, is that she said her husband died. He died. But so I knew that wasn't for me. I have to do this. I felt like God this is not love, and God doesn't want me to stay in this kind of situation. So I don't care what I've been told as far as, you know, God doesn't want you to get a divorce. Yes, he wants you to get out if you're being abused, if you're being, you know, mistreated in that kind of way. So yeah.
I just don't know. It's like, you know, for women to be trapped, to believe that this is going to get better.
Yep.
I mean, that's the mind that this is going to get better.
Yeah, because you want to believe. You want to believe, Pastor, because it's your emotions are being evolved. And some people people on the outside looking in, they don't understand that. But when you are psychologically, emotionally, and even financially, like, you know, caught up in either your partner or your spouse, it's not that easy for you just to turn it off. So you want to believe, like, especially, you know, if he's saying, I'm sorry, baby, you know, I will never do it again. And there's a cycle, it's called the honeymoon cycle, because they'll stop for a little bit just to lure you back in. Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm crying, even crying. That's what really gets you, a woman, when the man is crying. So he's crying like, baby, I got, you know, I'll never do that again. I don't know what came over me. And then buying you stuff or whatever. So that's the honeymoon phase. And so once you get kind of like settled back in, well, maybe he is changing. Maybe it is good. It's good. Our family's going to stay together and I'm going to stay married. And this is going to be good. And there he goes again. He's right back to the same thing because he knows he got you again. And so that went on for a few times. But finally, like I said, I said, I can't do this anymore. And I got up enough strength. And sometimes someone says, if you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. And so I knew I had to step out past my fear of the unknown, because I didn't know how I was going to survive and take care of myself as a young mother and 5 kids.
I think that's what keeps them in. Keeps them in is because you know, you like, I don't know where to go.
How am I going to do this?
You know, I don't know how, instead of just, you know, walking away. And I think, I don't know, help me, correct me if I'm wrong, but the fear of being alone.
Oh my goodness, you hit it on the head. Is that what that is? Okay, yes, that's probably another one of the main factors. It's being alone, or like, you know, I'd rather have somebody than have nobody. And anybody that's in abuse, you gotta just trust in that the Creator has so much better for you, even if you have to be alone sometimes. I remember, and I believe this was after I gotten away, but anyway, I still remember going to a church. I was visiting my cousin in California. And I went to a church, and a man and the pastor was talking about, I can't remember the exact title, but he said, I'm alone, I'm single, the single life or something like that. Anyway, he was more or less talking about sometimes different things can show up in your life when you are just by yourself. You have that time to really pour into yourself, or know who you are, or know what you really want, and be okay with that. Like this, what's that saying that says, loving the skin that you're in. You know, and so you don't always have to have that quote unquote, you know, person. Get to know you, get to know who you are, get to know what you like. You know, and learn how to just, you know, be okay with whatever that part, that phase that you're in your life.
What is the sign? Like, when you, we're speaking to the ladies that are in the relationships of domestic violence, and I want to know, because you've been through it, what are the signs like that will let them know I better get out now? Like, what are the signs? Because I mean, a lot of times people just don't know what the signs. Is it the verbal abuse that come first when they start saying words that will just mess you up, like to just talk about you like a dog, and
Yep.
and then it turns into physical abuse.
Yeah, I believe that can be the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people don't even realize that they are in an abusive marriage or a relationship because maybe they have been conditioned from their family that this is just the way you do. So if a man, I feel like if a man is starting to, if he's really, after you guys get together, or he feel like he has you, or you are married, or you living with him, he starts being very controlling. That's a sign.
That's a
to
sign.
me.
Okay.
That's a real big red flag
Okay.
for me. So
Okay.
that is what I'm careful of right now. You
Okay.
so controlling. Like you just said, the way he talks to you,
Right.
talking to you in a very derogatory way, all of that, we're even kind of like getting so upset where you feel like he's like rearing up. To me, those are telltale signs.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely the controlling, the emotional abuse, people, they can go through where gaslighting. That's another big one. I don't know if you've heard of that term before. You haven't?
I haven't.
So gaslighting, where he makes you feel like you're crazy. You know good and well that you did this to me, and I'm feeling I'm feeling bad about how you've been treating me. And then he says, what's wrong with you? Quit being so sensitive. I didn't mean that. But he clearly like disrespected you. I'm not talking about petty, stuff.
Right.
I'm talking about clearly disrespected you, and then make you feel like something is wrong with you for even being upset or saying something about it.
What you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, you can even
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You can even say that.
Trying to put the blame on you.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly. And so definitely, yeah, the controlling and the emotional and mental abuse, all of that goes hand in hand when you're talking about, someone starting to like even go into like the physical part.
Right. Wow.
So
it's like almost. Do you feel like when as you were going through that, the fear, like at any moment? I mean, I'm. Let me say this: do you always feel like this? I'm about to lose my life. This is because of every time it happened. Does it always take you there? Like, man, I'm about to die. Is that, what's that like?
In the end part, it was like that. It was because, like I said, at first I was just trying to like work. I was trying to just make it work. So I was willing just to stay there, forgive him, pray about it, and I was really trying. But then at the end part, I didn't care, and so I kind of like even like associated myself with the church because I felt like I wasn't being protected. That I was told that like if you pray about it, this is gonna work, and I felt like I was just left. And so I just kind of like disconnected and even began to kind of like do my own thing or whatever. But it got worse. And I remember one time I was trying to like leave out, and he was telling me that I was going. I believe it was one time that I was at a filling station, and a guy spoke to me. And he thought that I had something going on with that guy just because the guy spoke to me. Never had saw the guy in my life, but he thought that I had something going on with the guy. So it began to be a jealousy thing. It began to be a very paranoid thing. So if I was in the bathroom, he was saying that I was trying to like find a place to move to, which I was. But he began to get very paranoid. So at that point, I just knew that something had to had to happen. So I ended up finding a place, and I ended up moving my children into this apartment, and probably within the next 3 or 4 months, he began to come around and try to see the kids. He found out where I lived at, and he began to like try to see the kids. Before that, let me back up. Before that, he ended up finding out that I was moving. So when he found out that I was moving, I don't know how he knew where I was at, because I was like returning my U-Haul truck. Me and my uncle actually was returning my U-Haul truck. Some kind of way he found out where I was. He came into the U-Haul place where I was returning all the stuff, and he dragged me out of the U-Haul store, and I was in shock at that point. And tried to get me to, to go with him, and I got in the car because I was afraid. And so anyway, the police were involved. I'm trying to remember, the police were involved, and so he ended up going to jail at that point. But he got out. He didn't stay in there that long. So fast forward, I think it was like maybe about 4 or 5 months. He ended up trying to see the kids. I let him see the kids, and then he ended up trying to sweet talk me back into getting back with him. And I'm ashamed to say this, but anyway, it is what it is. I end up getting back with him. Okay, I end up getting back with him, and and that was the honeymoon stage. That was another honeymoon stage. So probably within a month or so of me getting back with him, the same stuff began to happen again. Yeah, began to happen again. So when the last part where I told God, I said, if you allow me to get away from this, I will never get back with him again. And it came down to the point where one day he left for work. I got all of the stuff I could get into. We had like a little small SUV. I got everything, all of my kids' stuff, all of my stuff. And I left, and that's when we went to the battered women's shelter, where we lived at for several months. But to answer your question, yes, at the end part, that's when like it was on that part where you feel like I'm getting ready to die. I'm getting ready to die because of so much.
That's crazy. And so, and just what I heard when you said that, as soon as he got out, it was like you went back, and people need to know that. Like, don't go back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Once. Yep.
When you know who they are, don't trust it.
Don't go back. Because here's the thing. Like, if you went through all this, you went through all this, and you are just done. Like, your life could end at any moment. If you got an opportunity to go away, to get away, get away.
Yes.
Don't go back. And don't allow them to trick you with words.
Exactly, the words.
To say, hey, because if he lied to you before,
right, he'll do it again.
So my thing is, it's like, and it's sad that you had to go through that. I mean, it really is, and
it's part of my journey.
I don't wish that on nobody. I mean, but the thing of it all is God kept you
exactly
through it all.
Exactly.
And through it all, and here you are today, sharing your story with others who need to hear your story, right? And so it's crazy. But so after all that, after all the things that you went through, and all the pain and suffering you went through, but you never gave up. You never stopped believing. You never stopped pressing your way. Even if you had that chance, God, listen, if you get me out, I'm gone.
Yes.
And you did just so. You jumped out of that. Hey, if I got to go down here and be at the shelter, I'm going to get out of here because God gave me the opportunity to get out. And so now you took the opportunity. You stayed in there for months. Where are you now?
So right now, I do want to say this. I do want to say, my ex-husband is, he's married, and our kids are grown, and so we're cordial, So I do want to say that we're cordial, but I think it took a lot of him maturing or growing up or whatever, what was going on with him. But I think that we all have a particular purpose, and my journey was, even though I didn't understand it at that time, that was part of my journey to bring me to where I am right now. Because a lot of time in our painful times or our painful situations or our painful circumstances, we may not understand why. I cried. So I remember after me and my children lived in a battered women's shelter, where we was in a small bedroom. I said it is two bunk beds and a small little sink. There was a big community shower area for us, the mothers and the children, to bathe in the shower. There's a big dining area for us to be. They fed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That place was a godsend for us, to us. They would take my kids on activities. We did so much. We would have support groups. We would have individual sessions. I had a social worker that helped me. I had different people in place there. I formed so many different relationships. But when I got on my feet, and I was in a bathroom one day, and I just broke down. I was crying because I knew I came through a whole lot. I knew that I had almost been killed. I didn't know how I was going to make it. My car would break down almost like every week because the car was an older car. The car before that, my mom had gave us this station wagon, was like, almost 20 years old. I remember the car smoking on the highway. So it was a whole lot that I came through. And so I think I just kind of was thinking about it, and I just broke down in the bathroom. And I couldn't understand why I went through what I went through. But it was a part of my journey. And we all have a journey. We all have something that we go through. But I believe Jay-Z said this, and I love the words that he said. He said, everything that has happened to you is for your highest good. For me, it's about your highest good. Like, what can come out of this? What can come out of this situation? What can come out of this devastation? What can come out of this trauma? What can come out of this molestation? What can come out of this dysfunction? Whatever it is that you have found yourself in, or you went through as a child, or you're going through right now, what can come out of that? And that is the main thing. And in my spirit, when I was in the bathroom that day, I heard, you're to motivate and inspire others. I'm going to use your testimony. I'm going to use the content. I'm going to use everything that you went through. I'm going to use every hurt and every letdown and every cruelty and everything that you didn't think that you were going to survive. I'm going to use that to catapult your life into your highest good. Into your highest good. I remember before we actually moved, I remember us going to this place, and it was a project area place. And the lady had said, well, once you get, your deposit, that you're going to, you can move in. And I remember this project place was this area where you would hear about shootings and stuff all the time. And when I came out, my oldest daughter, she said, Mommy, we can't move here. They're going to kill us. I remember listening to out of the mouth of the babes, we can't move here. I told the lady, I said, thank you, but no thank you. We can't move here. I remember, like I said, my car breaking down. I remember how the mayor of Dayton, Dean Lovelace, how I approached him. I believe I called him or I wrote him a letter, and I told him about our predicament. I remember how within 2 weeks, Dean Lovelace had us a nice townhome out in Centerville. We moved in like a week before Christmas. All of those things was part of my journey. Because it's got me to where I am right now. I became a licensed crisis social worker where I worked for like 20 years as a counselor, therapist, helping people either the depression, mental conditions, people who tried to commit suicide, people that had lost their housing, so many people that I've helped on my journey, because that's what I felt like I'm supposed to help people. This is my passion. I'm so passionate about helping people to see something bigger than their situation. But back in around 2012, something entered back into my spirit, because I think I started it as a child. And as a child, when I was in the church at 12 years old, somebody wanted me to give a speech. I got up before the church after writing my speech and going over it and studying and researching and everything. I got up before the church and I began to talk about this particular subject. They began to call me to speak at other churches. So to me, that was kind of like the start of me having that desire to speak the truth, speak what was in me, speak inspiring words, speak words that are powerful, speak words that will to get into a person's mind and stir their thinking up and cause their mind to expand and see something higher. So that person that wants to give up and quit, that person that's feeling like all hope is gone, they'll hear my words and something will ignite in their spirit. And that's where it started at. That's where it started.
So I was about to shout. I was about to get my shout on. Because here's the thing. I didn't go through what you went through, but I've been through what you've been through.
Oh, wow, that's powerful.
Right? And this is why I have this. This is why I have your story. This is why
it's powerful.
I have all other things working for me, because I remember what I went through. And it's amazing that if people really slow down, yes, what you went through was trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to make me say something right here.
Come on, speak it.
What you went through was trouble, but it didn't kill you. And see, if you're still here after your trouble,
yes, you still
then
got
your
purpose.
trouble was working for your good.
Come on,
and
you about to preach.
So that's why I say that when you were saying, it's like, okay, God was, see, we don't understand why we got, like you said, we don't understand why we go through, and it hurts when we're going through it. But what's happening is that while you're going through it, God knows you're going to come out of it.
He already knows what he got planned for you. You were already predestined for this.
Here's what's amazing about God himself. The enemy only can go so far, right? Because his hand is working on the other side. Wow. See, the enemy's hand only allowed to go this far. Okay. But God's hand is going this far.
Wow.
And because when the enemy has to stop.
He can only go but so far. Yep.
He can only go. So when he has to stop, now God taking you this far. So God will take where you stop. God will take where you stopped at.
Come on.
To use it for where you about to go.
Wow. It's content.
And so I want you to understand to the people, don't let your misery to distract you. Let your misery turn into your victory, because it's only going to get you to where God is getting ready to take you. See, your misery is a key to unlock your destiny.
Come on. Yes, you got it.
Your misery is a key
to
unlock your destiny.
Part of me.
Here's what's the problem. You can't be at your destiny if you had not been through nothing.
If you ain't been through
because
nothing, you don't have nothing to say.
You wouldn't be able to handle it, and you would not be able to have nothing to say. What are you going to talk about if God just put you
there? You're not relatable. You're not relatable. You got to be able to speak to them. You got to be able to feel their infirmities, I believe. You got to be able to connect, be relatable. You're going to be passionate because you know what you've been through. You know. And I love what you said. I love what you said just a moment ago when you said he can only go but so far. Sometimes I thought that I was getting ready to die. But he said, whatever you went through can't take away your value or your purpose. I thought I was done. Like I didn't want to, there were certain parts of my life where I felt like I'm done. I'm done. This hurts too much. It hurts too much. But he allowed it, because he said everything is going to work for your good. Everything, even though you're feeling like so devastated. I felt devastated. I felt ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt let down. I let my own self down. But everything, he said, is working for your good.
It's working for your good.
Working for your good.
I encourage people all the time, and when they start complaining about what they're going through, oh man, I had to do this and I had to do that, and I say, look down at your feet. I said, look down at your feet.
Come on.
And they'll look down at your feet. And once soon as they look at their feet, I say, you're standing, right?
Okay, you're here.
You're standing. You complaining, but look where your feet are standing.
Still standing, Bishop Paul Morton.
And still standing. And so people don't understand that as long as you still here, you can still keep moving.
Yes, your future is still before you.
Keep moving.
You still have opportunity and purpose.
So
you still have opportunity and purpose.
Exactly. So don't. I say this. I'm gonna encourage y'all. Don't let your situation rearrange where you about to go.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
Don't let your situation rearrange where you about to go. Because if you start talking about your yesterday, you'll never be able to see your tomorrow.
Stay stuck. You can't stay stuck looking backwards.
Amen.
I mean, you can't move forward staying stuck or looking backwards.
Looking backwards.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
So tell them, what else is Miss NEICY is doing now?
So I began, like I said, in 2012, I began to have this desire to get back from where I was at 12 years old, that speaking that was stirring up inside of me. And because I went through the domestic violence, now I began to speak in a way that would be able to inspire hope in people from the perspective of, like, no matter what you've been through, you have great destiny, you have great purpose within you. And so I started speaking at battered women's shelters. I started going to drug and alcohol recovery centers. I've even, as a therapist, I've worked at drug and alcohol recovery centers where I even spoke, as a motivational speaker, allowing them to know that whatever they've been through can't take away where they're going to. And so there's always that purpose in you, no matter, how many mistakes you've made, whatever you've been through. So I started that in 2012, envision your success, motivational speaker, traveling, speaking to young people. My passion is young people and women. I can speak to whoever, but my passion is young people and women. I've spoken at different high schools. I've spoken at different youth programs. I've spoken at different women's battered women's shelters, women's organizations. And so that's been my passion and my desire, to use my words to inspire hope in other people and set them up for their purpose and be able to transform their way of thinking and their life, helping them to change the trajectory of their life so that they may live to their fullest God-given purpose. But even after that, I had experienced something else that had happened in my life. And I say that even though the domestic violence was bad, I say that this point in my life, it seemed like it took me down a really a dark spiral where I felt depressed for a long period of time. I never felt depressed that long because of the expectation I had for this particular situation, and it ended up not working. But at the lowest point of my life, Pastor, at the lowest point of my life, I was downloaded something else in my spirit. So not only motivational speaker, inspiring hope, traveling the world, speaking to the audiences, but a housing empowerment program for women and children. Envision Your Success housing empowerment program for single women with children. We are a conduit of hope, We are a point of light. We are a lifeline, helping to change the trajectory of their lives so that they may live to their fullest God-given potential. And I believe that all came out of my devastation. Everything that I went through has ushered me into where I am today. I am today. Because I believe that it is so, and so it is. It is so, and so it is. So it is. He's already predestined you for purpose. And so even though you may not actually see it in reality, everything that you have been through has set you up for where you're already meant to be at. And so that's where I am today. Envision Your Success, housing empowerment program for women and children, motivational speaker, traveling the world, impacting lives. That's my passion. That's my purpose. And that's what I love doing.
Your devastation will lead you to your destination. Whew. Wow. So here you are. You have. So let me say this. I'm blessed. I'm blessed by your testimony. I'm blessed.
Thank you.
That you're able to share, because people see, and this is why I tell people all the time. Share your story.
Yes.
Because you're helping somebody.
That's what it's about.
Quit.
That is what it's about.
Share your story. This is why God gave your story to me, because it's all about your story helping someone get through what they're going through.
You said a mouthful, because there was times that I wanted to just shut down. I mean that.
Right.
I was tired of helping people and only for me to be devastated by cruelty for whatever reason. So I wanted to shut down. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to help nobody else. But I think Tyler Perry said this, when something is really stirring up in you, you'll try to get away from it, and it'll still keep coming back at you. It's knocking at your door. You know this is what you're supposed to be doing. And slowly but surely, I came back, because this is just me. And so I refuse to allow anyone to take away who I really am. You know, some people become very bitter. They get stuck in hurt and hate, and they hurt people, right? They become the hurters because they've been hurt so much.
You said it.
And so they want, and they and some people just want to shut down. But I that's just not my makeup. So I feel like, be wise in your dealings with people, but don't allow them to take away the trueness of who you are. And you got to believe this, that the whole world is on your side as long as you are being true to the best that is in you. When you're being true to yourself and you're honoring who you are and what God called you to be, and no matter what someone else does or says, even your haters are on your side. Even those people that mean you ill will, they're on your side because they're just pushing you. They're pushing you to where you're supposed to go to.
Yeah, and just keep going.
Keep on going.
And I want to go back to what you said, hurt people. And here's what I think about. When people hurt people, it's because they don't want to face the pain, but they'll cause the pain. They don't want to face their own pain, but they'll cause the pain. And so what happens, they'll hurt someone else.
Yes.
Because they're not facing the pain that's in themselves.
They haven't allowed themselves to heal.
Right.
So many people so many people.
And that's what's so dangerous.
Yes. Because it's
so
just end up being a cycle of hurt after hurt.
And even though you're hurting the person, you're adding more hurt to you.
Yep.
Even though you're hurting that person, even though you have rejected that person, whatever it is that you doing to that person, you're adding more hurt to you, because the pain that you're facing will never heal. It just keep hurting.
Right. Keep on being
so.
lingering.
I thank God that you shared your story. Man, like I said, it really blessed me. I'm sure it blessed many others out there who's watching. I don't know who's watching. Even if it's just one that watched, that person was touched. So how could they get a hold of you if some women that are going through it may want to talk to you on a one-on-one, you know, because that's what you do. You encourage, you motivate. How could they get a hold of you to say, hey, listen, I'm going through this. I'm afraid to share it with others, but because you've been through it, I want to talk to you about it, you know. So how could they get a hold of you? You got like an email or something they can, a personal contact? I don't know how that works, you know.
Yes, that's fine. Yes. So my email is never ever give up. 54 at gmail.com. Never, I want you to get this, never ever give up. 54 at gmail.com.
Now, is that all lowercase?
Yeah, it's just,
it's
just
regular, never ever.
Never just a Gmail.
All lowercase. So never ever give up.
It don't matter, but
54 at gmail.com.
Yep, or, you know, if you like Facebook, look me up as NEICY Carla. NEICY Carla. And either it's going to be Wilson or Squire, but NEICY Carla on Facebook. And I forget what my Instagram, but yeah. I don't know. I just started getting back on there myself, but I know everybody is about social media, so you want to, you know, you meet people where they are. You know, we're living in a social media world, you know, so that's what it's about. Even I'm gonna do this. Even give me a call, because I really want, you know, to connect and you know, with some people that may be going through something, or even connect with you if you want me to come out and speak to your clientele, or, you know, if you have a school or high school. I love doing that, speaking to high school students. I love speaking to women's organizations. So 937-829-1803. Give me a call. I would love to do business with you on that level.
Amen.
Yes,
Y'all heard it.
Yes,
Woman of God who's been through it, been through the fire, but didn't get burnt.
All right, still standing.
There you go.
I got sued and on me, but you know, I'm still standing.
Hey,
it's all good.
Say,
I ain't burnt.
What they say? Who is that? Who is that fourth guy that's sitting
right.
in the front of you? Who is that? Yep. Wait a minute.
Like he went through the fire with me. He was there right with me.
Hey, amen. So
he was there with me.
So, man, this is amazing. So listen. I would like for you to encourage those right now who just give them a good, you know, a good encouraging word for those who are going through or whatever, to motivate them. That's what you do.
Okay.
Give them a quick look in the camera and just give them a great motivation word. So.
What I want to say is, what is for you, it is for you. And so whatever you're experiencing in your life right now, nothing can take away the value and the worth. Baby, you're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth fighting for. You're worth staying in this race for. Whatever your path is or your journey is, never discount yourself. Be true to who you are and what God created you to be. And I believe that the whole world is on your side. As long as you're being true to the best that's in you, long as you're believing that God has something, you know, great for you, and it is for you, no matter what you've been through. Never ever give up. Never ever give up. You got this. You got this. All right.
You got this. Amen.
All right.
Amen. So
listen,
we thank you guys. Shout out
thank you
to NEICY SQUIRE in the building,
yes.
motivation speaker.
Yes.
We thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Man, her testimony has blessed me. Look, we need to do more of these. Listen, if you have a story and you want to share your story,
share your story. This is good.
Squire did. Listen, come on out. Every Saturday at 7 o'clock. Your story is important. Your story can motivate somebody to get up and move out. Amen.
Yes,
you just don't know who's going through what you came out of. Amen.
Exactly.
So I encourage you, come and share your story just as she did. And I promise you, I do know this, that she helped somebody today. Amen. I know you did. You helped somebody. You helped some woman who has been going through it. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
And we will catch you next time on your story.
Yes.
I'm your host, Pastor Terry Junis. See you later. Bye.
See ya.